Right guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. So we've got some more breaking transfer news. Mohammed Kudus to Spurs. Here we go, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. And, I think this is a really good signing for Spurs. Obviously, Mohammed Kudus is too good for West Ham. If we're being honest, he is West Ham's standout player whenever he plays. And, he was always going to leave West Ham, whether it was going to be this summer or next summer. And it has now happened. He is going to go to Spurs. And I think Spurs have got a really, really good player here. Really exciting player. He's a bit of a flair player. Likes to carry the ball as well. Does a Kudus. It'll be interesting to see where Kudus actually plays, though. Because obviously, when James Maddison's fit, he's going to be the centre attacking midfielder. And then you've got Brennan Johnson, right wing, Solanke up front, left wing. Is he going to play left wing? Now, personally, for me, I don't think Kudus is a left winger. I think he's either a right winger or he's a cam. So it's going to be interesting to see what Spurs do with Kudus. It's going to be very, very intriguing to see what Thomas Frank does with him. Obviously, Thomas Frank, the new Spurs manager, taking over from Ange Postecoglou. And yeah, this is his first signing, I believe. So, and it's a really good signing as well. It is a very good signing for Spurs. 55 million is the fee. Now, it's a lot of money. But like I always say, I don't really look at transfer values anymore. Obviously previous played for Ajax. And, I was actually pretty surprised when West Ham bought Kudus. I thought Kudus was amazing at Ajax. And originally I thought Manchester United were going to sign him ahead of Anthony. Because we were linked to both of them players, Kudus and Anthony. And obviously we went for Anthony and, well, we know how that worked out. We don't need to talk too much about that. But yeah, and when he went to West Ham, I was really surprised because I thought like a top club would come in for him, and they just didn't. West Ham, West Ham are a good team, but they're not a top tier Premier League team or a top tier European team, are they? So it was a surprise when he decided to go to West Ham. Maybe that was just get used to the Premier League and then later on move to a bigger Premier League club, and that's exactly what he's done. But honestly, I can't see this transfer failing. I think Kudus is Premier League proven. And yeah, I think he will hit the ground running at Spurs. It's just going to be interesting to see where he plays because I'm looking at it and confused. I don't really think you can put him on the bench and be an impact player from the bench. 55 million, you can't do that. So I don't know how Thomas Frank is going to get him into that team. I'm trying to think, has Kudus ever played left wing before? And I don't think he has. But I actually think that's where he's going to play. I do think Kudus will play left wing. I do think he's left-footed. I could be wrong about that, but I do think he is left-footed. So maybe, them crosses into the box to Solanke is maybe what Thomas Frank is thinking there. But no, West Ham, I mean, he was always going to leave West Ham. He was their star, their standout player. And, it's a big blow for West Ham. It's a big blow, but West Ham have still got decent players. West Ham are not going to get relegated. They'll be absolutely fine next season, West Ham, in my opinion. But Mohammed Kudus is a loss. It is a big, big loss. But I think 55 million, you can't really say no. I'm not sure how much West Ham bought Kudus for. I think it was actually pretty cheap. I think it was around 40 million they bought him for. So they made a little bit of profit on him, which is good. Maybe interesting to see who West Ham go in for now, because obviously they are going to need to replace Kudus, in my opinion. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who West Ham go in for. But yeah, big transfer, big Premier League transfer. I mean, this is my first transfer video in quite a while because we've literally had no transfers. I mean, I was going to make a video on Elanga to Newcastle because that's a really big one as well, but I just can't be bothered making that one if I'm being honest. But yeah, we have got some big transfers coming up. Like Gyökeres is going to happen soon. That's going to be a banger. That's going to be a big one. But Kudus to Spurs, really good signing for Spurs. Well, also what's good about Kudus, he drifts. He drifts. I mean, Kudus can play. He probably can play a left wing, cam, right wing. To be honest, he can probably play anywhere in attack, which is versatile, which is a very, very good attribute to have if you're a footballer. You can be versatile. But yeah, I think he'll hit the ground running. That's Spurs. I can't see this signing failing. I think it'll be a little bit like what Maddison did at Spurs. Remember Maddison's first season at Spurs? Well, the first couple of months, he was absolutely brilliant, James Maddison. And I think that's what Kudus is going to do as well. Obviously, as well, could be another factor. Maddison has had a few injuries, so maybe Thomas Frank is thinking, if Maddison gets injured, we've got nobody. So that could be a reason why, again, Spurs have signed him. But I think it's a really, really good move by Spurs. And, obviously Spurs getting Champions League football. Kudus is going to be playing Champions League football next season, which was probably a big reason why he's decided to join Spurs. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Spurs do next season. Obviously, yes, they had a bad Premier League campaign, but they won the Europa League and managed to get Champions League football, which really was all Spurs wanted to do, and that's what they did. Doesn't matter how you get there. Champions League is what they would have wanted to achieve, and that's exactly what they did. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season for Spurs. Spurs that will never be that bad for a very, very long time again. Spurs will improve next season 100%. They have to. But yeah, guys, and I think Mohammed Kudus is the right signing. I think it's the right profile player to take Spurs back potentially into Champions League football, fighting for that top 4, top 5 if 5th place becomes Champions League spot as well. But yeah, really good signing for Spurs. But guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Mohammed Kudus to Spurs. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Catch you later.